Hey guys, what's going on? 10/6/2011, Thursday. I want to do another video, and I want to talk about the unfolding paradigm shift that is happening in this country. A few weeks ago, I did a video. It was called Today, an American Paradigm Shift. I did it in July. There's a link below if you'd like to take a look at it if you haven't seen it. And I made some remarkable predictions that are unfolding as we speak and will continue to unfold. Let me go over some bullet points from that video. And I said there's going to be a shift in consciousness in the hearts and minds of Americans. That is happening. I said there's going to be a shift in the context of people's souls. That is happening. And the outward expression that you can quantify this in is the Occupy Wall Street movement. And that's just the beginning of it, and it's just starting. I also gave some criteria for the basic cross-section mental capacity or status of Americans, okay? And I said, look guys, they're basically brain dead, which they are, but I'm not talking about all people, okay? Now, remember this point because I'm going to come back and make another analogy and you're going to explain exactly what I'm talking about. Now, when I did this first video a few weeks ago, I was painting in very broad brushstrokes, okay? And I'm trying to take a concept and explain it in broad terms. Now what I'm going to do is take that concept, condense it down, filter it down, and let's look at it microscopically. Because what I said in that video is 100% correct. No doubt in my mind. Now, I did say in that video also that we are reaching critical mass in the population of America. I also said that one of the parameters that's going to be apparent is the word ignore. And the concept of ignore. And I ignore your corporatism. I ignore your status quo. And we're seeing that in the protest directly, and what they're saying. I also said that you're going to see a lot more of this behavior under the parameter of ignore in the American society. You will see that in the future. No doubt in my mind. You will continue to see that. And I said, this concept of ignore is going to take the form of many different applications. So people are going to act on this parameter differently from each person to each person. And you can see that in, Occupy Wall Street and what they're there for. Some people are there because they can't stand the Fed. Some people are there because they think the healthcare system is ridiculous. Some people are there because they feel that the job market is deplorable. And that's what you're going to see. I did the first video a few weeks ago, and again, I'm painting in broad brush strokes, and I'm taking in a concept that describes before the paradigm shift, which was about 6 weeks before this started to happen, and now what's happening in the paradigm shift, and also it's describing what's going to happen in the future of the paradigm shift in the next months coming up in America. Okay? Now, let me get back to the brain-dead masses, so to speak. Because yes, we have enlightened people, awake people that are down at the protest right now. But that represents a minute amount of people in the, aggregate population in whole. Which means a lot of people are at home, okay? And they're watching what's happening. They're listening to what's happening. They're hearing it from friends that's translated or passed on a few times through the grapevine. So that message is permeating these people who are not active, that are brain dead, so to speak. It's only so to speak terms, but look at it this way. If the majority of Americans were not brain dead, the whole state of New York would be on Manhattan right now. The whole state of New York would be down on Occupy Wall Street. So that's what I'm talking about when I say brain dead. But I said, in the last video that I did, it's okay, it's alright, because as they sit at home and take in this information, and as they see these visuals of girls, teenage girls, getting sprayed with mace for no apparent reason, doing absolutely nothing by tyrannical police officers, and that message is getting spread all around the world, what's happening to the people that are at home? You know what? They're looking at each other saying, what? We're not in Kansas anymore. What is going on? These cops are being brutal. These cops are being violent. These cops are wrong. And that's the paradigm shift. That's the shift in consciousness. The people that are down at the protest, they've already shifted their consciousness. I'm talking about the mass of humanity, the mass amount of people in America, the 330 million people that are on the sidelines, watching on the internet, watching on YouTube, listening to Alex Jones radio shows, etc., etc., etc. You know what those images? It's changing them. That's the paradigm shift. You also have the cops arresting 14-year-olds. I mean, they could have selected a bunch of adults from the crowd, and what did they do? They grab a 14-year-old and arrest them? That's getting published on the web. And what are they saying? What are the protesters saying? The whole world is watching. Yes, the whole world is watching, and America is changing the core of their being by watching these images and watching the despicable behavior of the police department. That's what's happening. Max Kaiser today just posted some more videos of cops beating up people with protesters with billy clubs. The concept of a free America will become clear to everyone in this country over a very short period of time that that is not the case, and that we live in a fascist dictatorship with a hell-bent police force that is planning to destroy innocent people. That's the paradigm shift that I'm talking about, okay? You can't have people like Roseanne Barr going on television, Max Kaiser, internet, wherever, and saying that the bankers should be beheaded, and people not getting all up in arms about it. I mean, the general population is listening to it going, oh, wow, well, hey, maybe you're right. I mean, I'm not about beheadings. I think it should be handled a completely different way, but I think that just that word and that phrase can be used to symbolize a message and not really an action. And again, it is transforming the consciousness of people. It is getting into their being, and that's the paradigm shift. It's a shift in consciousness. You know, and another thing is that some of the people that are down in the protests, the mainstream media is interviewing them, and they're saying, well, why are you here? And they're saying, I don't know why I'm here. I just feel that it's the right thing to do. That is inexplicably the most perfect definition of a paradigm shift I could ever hope and wish for. I don't know why I'm here. I just think it's the right thing to do. Paradigm shift is active. Alex Jones has the protest or the End the Fed rallies through the weekend. It is going to be a pivotal point because everybody that's online, everybody that's witnessing it is going to see a grand rally. And you know what? It's going to change people. It's going to continue to change people. The paradigm shift, let me repeat, is not necessarily what the protesters are doing. It's the people watching the protesters, and it's changing their consciousness. It's changing their reality. And through that shift, through that change in settings, we're changing America. All right, guys. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Thanks for listening.